You guys apparently really enjoyed our last video regarding celebrities being exposed during the pandemic, so here we are with part 2. Now, as I said at the end of the previous video, I think we need to focus more on educating people and helping them right their wrongs rather than just tear them down and cancel them. However, some of these people really crossed the line to the point that I'm kinda like, where'd you grow up? While others really should just know better and did something silly which ended up biting them. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to InformOverload. I'm your host for this one, Jared Bronstein, and today we're counting down the top 10 celebrities that got exposed during the pandemic. Part 2. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? As always, I recommend you guys hit that subscribe button because it's literally free. Like, who doesn't like free things? Stick around to the very end of this one for some comment replies from another video. I wonder what video I'm gonna reply to. Probably the part 1 of this one. I don't know. Find out. Stick around. For now, let's jump right into it. Throwing a little improv in today, huh? Starting us off at number 10, we got Lea Michele. After tweeting her support for the Black Lives Matter movement, and specifically referencing the murder of George Floyd, some former castmates would publicly call the Glee star out. Responding to Michelle's tweet, which read, "George Floyd did not deserve this. This was not an isolated incident and it must end. Hashtag Black Lives Matter." Samantha Ware, another Glee cast member, captioned Michelle's tweet with, "LMAO, remember when you made my first television gig a living hell? Cause I'll never forget it. I believe you told everyone that if you had the opportunity, you would in my wig, amongst other traumatic microaggressions that made me question a career in Hollywood." In response, two other former Glee cast members, Alex Newell and Amber Riley, both seemingly agreed with Ware's stance regarding the situation, although Riley recently said on a podcast, I quote, "I'm not going to say that she's racist. She's also pregnant and I think that everyone needs to chill. Y'all dragged her for a couple of days, but at the same time, in my inbox, there are a lot of black actors and actresses telling me their stories and letting me know they have dealt with the same things on set, being terrorized by the white girls that are the leads of the show." Up next at number 9, Jake Paul. You guys probably heard by now, but if you somehow haven't, Jake was actually charged with criminal trespassing and unlawful assembly after videos surfaced of him being tear gassed by police at a protest and then heading to a mall where people all around him were looting. Well, as you can imagine, it wasn't a good look for the kid. He did make a response video explaining everything that happened, saying he only went to document what was going on, the cops were pretty much blocking every exit when they tried to go home, and that he didn't loot anything. But he also admits just being there was a bad call, and now he's gonna have a court date in July, so I guess we gotta see how this one plays out. Moving on to 8, Joe Exotic. Now, technically the reason Joe became a celebrity is because he got exposed for hiring someone to kill Carol Baskin. Either way, technically he still reached celebrity status and was exposed at the same time. I mean, say what you want about the guy, but the fact that Nick Cage is actually confirmed to play Joe in a TV series, well, the man is a certified celeb. And I will say, as much as I want to include Carol on this list as well for allegedly forging the signature of her ex-husband, the late Don Lewis, I felt one Tiger King star was enough for this list. So let's move on to number 7. At number 7, Madison Beer. Beer was recently called out for allegedly staging a photo shoot while protesting at a Black Lives Matter gathering. After an image of Madison holding 2 signs while taking a knee on the roof of a car would go viral, she would immediately face some backlash. Twitter user Grande Corday would post some DMs allegedly between the two, in which Madison claimed the photographer who originally posted the photo, Instagram user JVSH Visions, was just a random person she had never met before. She goes on to explain she just wants to raise awareness and then shared DMs allegedly between her and the photographer. Captioned, "I did not lie, this photographer is spreading unclear information about me. These are our messages. I will not allow anyone to make me protesting day after day into something it is not. I am out here for one reason only. I will not allow it to be spun into something it never was." In the DMs, the photographer claims he told outlets it was staged, but he was being sarcastic. However, it didn't help Madison's case when Josh, the photographer, apparently posted to his story letting fans know more photos of Madison would be coming soon. Now, I'm not saying she definitely staged the photo shoot. This guy's pictures of Jake Paul handing out water and model Jeremy Meeks protesting too. But the fact that there are multiple photos of Beer on different days on his profile, well, I don't know if this was the first time the two interacted is all I'm gonna say. Moving on to number 6, Justin Bieber. Biebs came under fire after he told fans to make a playlist with his single Yummy and just stream it continuously so he could get the #1 spot on the Billboard charts. At the time, he was competing with Roddy Ricch's song, The Box, which would ultimately beat out Biebs. Although Biebs would eventually publicly show his support for Roddy on winning the top spot and getting his first chart topper, there's also a clip of Biebs saying this.
"I'm going back on tour, how about this? I'm not gonna go back on tour unless that song goes #1.
I'm gonna say he was joking, but I mean the fact that he really wanted his track to reach #1 is kinda wild. He told fans in a now deleted post if they weren't from the US that they should use a VPN to change their IP address to appear as an American and stream his song in hopes of reaching the top spot. Now, I don't know why this was so important to the kid. He's a multi-millionaire, has numerous #1s, and really doesn't even need to continue making music if he doesn't want to. So why are the accolades so important? Maybe it's like a contract thing, a record label, I don't know. Halfway now, 5, Cole Sprouse. There have been tons of rumors regarding the relationship of Sprouse and his fellow Riverdale co-star Lily Reinhart. It's been almost a year of rumors starting back in July of 2019, in which both Cole and Lily have publicly come out pretty much telling people to go fly a kite. That's a polite way of telling someone to go You know, people know what fly kite means, right? Regardless, there were rumors that the relationship ended because Cole was actually hooking up with model Kaya Gerber, something both Cole and Lily denied. But when people found out the couple were quarantining by themselves and noticed they removed images of each other on social media, well, the rumors just kept going. Reports believed Cole and Kaya got together in April, and Cole shot that down as well in a story on his Instagram where he pretty much said he's not going to allow people who claim to be fans slander his name and spread false information. Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. Now at 4, JK Rowling. Quite recently, Rowling tweeted out some thoughts that many labeled as transphobic. Quote in an article, she tweeted, "People who menstruate. I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Wumbin? Wimpund? Womund? Opinion. Creating a more equal post-COVID-19 world for people who menstruate." She then tweeted, "If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate to speak the truth." In a couple of other tweets, she would go on to clarify she respects all trans people, and after receiving backlash and being labeled as anti-trans, released a 3,600-word essay in which she talked about her reasoning for her beliefs. In it, she wrote, I quote, "I want trans women to be safe. At the same time, I do not want to make natal girls and women less safe." She would also cite her own previous experiences being a victim of both domestic abuse and sexual assault, saying she doesn't want sympathy but more so is trying to get her point across. And it seems her point being, at least from my understanding, is that biological sex is different than gender. Now I'll be honest with you guys, I had a hard time deciphering her tweets in the first place, but that's what I got from it. Let me know your thoughts on this one below as well. Since tweeting, a handful of actors who've worked with Rowling in the past, such as Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Eddie Redmayne, would all speak up, disagreeing with the writer's stance. Moving on to number 3, David Dobrik. One of Dobrik's old Vlog Squad mates, Seth Francois, posted a good 9-minute video on Instagram, more or less depicting how over the years, Dobrik and the Vlog Squad have seemingly played into the systemic racism that is currently being protested. Now I will say he did reply to a comment asking if he's mad at Jason or David, to which he said, I quote, "I am not mad or upset with anyone. I just think our group has too big of a voice to not speak on something we contributed to. The internet will influence generations to come. We play a vital role in the history of all of this. Many content creators make jokes that don't favor our culture. It's time to bring all of this to light, make a stand, and make a change." Over the course of the video, Seth shows a handful of instances where Dobrik and the crew are laughing and joking about things, such as Seth having a warrant out for his arrest for overdue parking tickets. There are also other clips where Seth is used as the punchline of a joke, either in a verbal or physical way. Although he received mixed reaction in the comments, it really seems Seth just wanted those with a voice to be held accountable and to start being a better example for younger generations. At 2, Kylie Jenner. Although she may not necessarily be on this list for reasons the majority of other people are, she still got exposed. As many of you know, just last year Kylie was named the world's youngest self-made billionaire by Forbes magazine. Now considering how she's the furthest thing from self-made, considering her family was famous before the thought of her existence even came into question, is besides the point. Forbes did some digging of their own and found out that Jenner's lied. I quote, "Kylie's business is significantly smaller and less profitable than the family has spent years leading the cosmetics industry and media outlets, including Forbes, to believe." Forbes now thinks that Kylie Jenner, even after pocketing an estimated $340 million, it was sold for $509 million, but after taxes from the sale, is not a billionaire. They went as far as claiming that she had accountants possibly forged some tax returns, but could not confirm. Jenner replied on Twitter with, "What am I even waking up to? I thought this was a reputable site. All I see are a number of inaccurate statements and unproven assumptions, lol. I've never asked for any title or tried to lie my way there ever, period." In another tweet she wrote, I quote, "Even creating tax returns that were likely forged, that's your proof? So you just thought they were forged? Like actually, what am I reading?" If she did forge her tax returns, it is possible Kylie faces some jail time, but it seems that is not the case. In at number 1, Big Ed from 90 Day Fiancé. Although it seems Ed also rose to celebrity status during the pandemic, much like Joe Exotic, it wouldn't be long before the spotlight would come back to bite him. It seems the side of Ed that we saw was simply an act, and he never really cared about Rose to begin with. At least that's what she believes. She explained, I quote, "He wants to be famous. He does not love me. He does not care about me. He always embarrasses me and I always be quiet. I want to say I feel hurt for now. Please don't believe Ed. It's not always true what he said. Thank you." I mean, the way that Ed has handled the fame and really is feeding into it, I wouldn't be all that surprised if this is the case. And there you guys have it for the top 10 celebrities that got exposed during the pandemic, part 2. Let us know your thoughts down below, and of course, now I'm going to reply to some comments from the video, top 10 celebrities that got exposed during the pandemic. Part 1. What do you think I would say? Part 3? This is part 2. How could I do that? Matthew Launchbury said, "I never thought Dr. Phil would ever be exposed ever." No one's safe on this channel. Like, no one. I don't care if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a celebrity, an influencer, a Cowboys fan, I will expose you. And if you're a Cowboys fan, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Phoenix 101 said, "Vanessa Hudgens sounded so drunk on her live stream, not to mention that whiny, spoiled voice she used made my ears bleed. I think her intentions were there. I'm not even trying to defend her, I don't think she meant it the way it came across. I just think it really did not do her any justice, especially how she sounded, yes. But I don't think we should make fun of her voice, guys. I saw a lot of you guys being like, I hate her voice, and it's not nice, it's bullying. We're trying not to do that, right? I actually kind of like her voice, I think it's cute, but you know. Sugi B said, you remind me of this quote, kindness is loaning someone your strength instead of reminding them of their weakness. That was just like a really nice thing. Like I saw that and I was like, damn, that's like a really nice, like one of the nicest comments someone's ever given me on YouTube. So I literally just wanted to include that and say, thank you very much for saying that. But really, I wanted this quote to just be like the spotlight of this part of the comments. Kindness is loaning someone your strength instead of reminding them of their weakness. I think that's what we all need to do, guys. Like I said before, this cancel culture is the stupidest thing in the world. We gotta move on to like the education culture. Rather than just being like, this person believes this, they're wrong. Let's be like, this person believes this, let's find out why and then educate them and tell them why what they think is wrong because of X, Y, and Z. Do you get what I'm saying? Big difference. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein, and we'll see you guys in the next one.